Hello, hello.
Hello, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us this Monday afternoon for us.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this topic that we're about to
Go
discuss
live.
today, I am super excited about because I feel like maybe we don't say it enough. We did do a training on this, but like many months ago, and I know we have so many new followers, customers. So we wanted to bring this back up because honestly, I think this is like the forefront of everything.
What do you mean?
Our topic.
Oh,
It's one of the most important things in the industry.
yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah. Do you agree?
I do. I do. I
Okay.
just
I feel
didn't
like you want
know.
to say
Well,
more.
when we started this business, I didn't know it was as bad as it actually is. I didn't think we would stand out so much for just doing what I thought was the normal, like should be normal,
Right.
the normal business practice, and it's not.
100%. So today we're talking about transparency in supplements, and we are going to take a deep dive into it all and let you know everything that you need to know in this um, industry.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So when it comes to supplements, it's not just about what you take, right? It's about what you can trust. And that's a big deal. If you don't know exactly what's in your product, how it's made,
Mm-hmm.
whether the dose is high enough to work, you could be sabotaging your health and wasting your money. Two of the opposite things that we're trying to do when we invest in our health, right? And supplements are a big investment in your health for sure. So thanks for joining us, Lisa and Dr. Ryan here. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. So go ahead and just quickly do it now so we can get that taken care of. And if you have any feedback or have questions about the topic today,
Yeah. Send them in.
put it in the comments section and we'll go through them kind of during and towards the end. What was that be?
It's just a.
Oh, okay. Sometimes we have technical difficulties with all this stuff here. So, all right. So, why transparency is critical in supplements? You need like really what it means, right? It's openness about what's inside,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
how it's tested,
Mm-hmm.
who makes it,
Mm-hmm.
and how it's priced. And we're going to go into more details on and more topics, but that's kind of what it is. Like transparency, it goes trust, results, safety. Like that is the goal. And really that can apply to, anything. But today specifically, we're talking supplements. Did I lose my?
No, this one's on. Let's bring this one in so
Okay.
we can share
Okay.
that. Yep. Go ahead.
To get it over.
That's perfect. Good.
Cover my head. All right, so I'm going to go through the topics and Dr. Ryan elaborate more on them because he is our master formulator and really needed to dot his I's and cross his T's with everything he's been doing to make these products. So a big one, and I think most people know about this because we do get the questions often, is about the testing, third-party testing and manufacturer standards.
Yeah.
So what? Give us a little bit more info about those two.
Yeah, right. Before a material, so typically in powder form, right? So if you heard me before, we talk about stability of products. How are they most stable? They're most stable in powder form, but those powders have to be tested. So before you even go to make a product, you will test each product. Test each powder, each ingredient.
Each ingredient.
Yeah,
That's a
for
big
identity. Yeah, for every ingredient. So for identity, so you want to know exactly when you say you want to know exactly what it is. So make sure it's what you say it is. Then you're gonna look for potency. So you're gonna look for the strength. An example is like, okay, mag glycinate. So you'll notice this is 2 capsules for 420 milligrams, right? 420. Well, there's a lot more weight than 420 milligrams because the 420 is elemental magnesium. And they
Right.
come in different classes, like 8 to 12%, 14 to 16, 18 to 22. This is 30% mag glycinate. 30%, it's the highest on the market, and it's not buffered with like oxides or anything like that. So super high quality. So when you're talking about potency, you want to know this is actually the 30% mag glycinate,
Right.
right? Elemental magnesium. So far we've already tested for identity. It is what we say it is. It's mag glycinate.
Okay.
We test for potency that it's 30%, so we know what we're going to say on the label. And then purity. Does it have any contaminants? What are we looking for here? Are we looking for metals? We're looking for bacterial or yeast contamination.
Okay.
So we're doing microbial testing. This is on every ingredient, every material before you even go in to manufacturing.
And then the final product.
Right. So then you have finished product testing. And of course that's third party tested. You always want to see third party testing. It's one thing if somebody does it internal, but they should still validate their heavy metals, their microbial should still be sent.
Right. The specific. Those specifics.
Yeah.
Okay. And for anybody that doesn't know this, if you've been with Livegood for a while, you should know this, but we do provide all of our testing results on our website. There is a certificates of analysis link. Click on that link. You'll see all the testing that we've done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some
So,
have more than others because
Sure.
some necessitate different tests.
Right, for,
Like
I mean,
glyphosate, right?
yeah,
You say
like
that.
your greens,
Need
have more
glyphosate
testing.
There you go. We'll have that up on the website.
Yeah.
Which is, for you guys that don't know, it's an herbicide. So it's a weed killer.
Yeah. So,
From the ground
make
up.
sure you check them out, share them with those that might question things. It's important to know. And again, if you are buying from a company and they don't share this information with you guys, that has to be a red flag. It has to be, because there's no reason to not share it. And believe it or not, many companies do not share it. I've reached out to a handful of reputable companies, and I just, hey, I love everything about your product. But I don't see the certificates of analysis. Can you share those with me? And I've gotten, more times than not, the email coming back stating that it's for in-house only. Now, why? That's major red flag for me, because why is this not information that you want to share? This doesn't reveal anything about your company. You're not sharing something that people can use and steal. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense, like why somebody would not want to share that. So, again, make sure you always look for that. And about our facilities, our manufacturers, like what certifications, how does that work?
Of course. And always see GMP. You always need good manufacturing practices, right? Not everybody does it. It is the standard, but we took it a step further, and we have the body that certifies our CGMP is NSF. So people might have heard of, NSF Sport. That's for like the athletic brands to make sure that they've tested for banned substances. That's the same for athletes, right? So like pro teams, college teams, certain college teams, Olympic committees. But really, the NSF body is the one that certifies our CGMP facilities, which is a big deal. It's a high standard. Is that what
Yes,
what you wanted to know?
sorry, I just saw
Yeah.
someone say
Comment.
that just me,
Yeah.
or did the video end? I don't think the video ended because we're here, but
Oh.
can someone let us know if you still see us?
No, it looks good. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think we're still
it's
trucking
good on our
along.
end.
I think we're still
Okay,
trucking along.
all right, I'll carry on. Okay, so that's our third-party testing, manufacturing standards. It matters to ensure purity, potency, safety. Very, very, very big.
Yeah, and their SOPs, their standard operating procedures are strict.
Right.
They're stringent. I mean, there's not a lot of wiggle room at all.
Right. So why I chose that as number one is because I feel that is like the most important. But all of them are important, but really this is like very important. And again, it's crazy that companies don't share this. Okay, another one that I think so many people do not consider.
Okay.
Because the amount of questions I get, and this more is the questions about like, oh, hey, Lisa, can you compare this supplement to ours? Or why is ours better? Whatever it is. You look line for line, you could have the same exact ingredients line for line, but dosing matters.
Oh yeah, sure.
If the dosing is not high enough to have a therapeutic benefit, you are wasting your time and your money. Biggest thing. Okay, we invest in our health. We spend money on these supplements. We take the time to organize, take them, get our routines going. But again, I mean, would you ever go and say, okay, I'm going to give an example. I'm going to start eating more I'm going to start eating vegetables because I really don't eat vegetables. So you go and you have like one piece of broccoli a day. You're like, oh, I'm doing great. I'm having vegetables. But like, is that one piece of broccoli going to really do much for you? No, you have to make sure you're eating enough of something or supplementing enough of something to actually have a therapeutic benefit. So dosing matters, and elaborate on the dosing because you choose doses to have a therapeutic benefit, each ingredient, because we don't want to.
We're having trouble streaming Facebook or something. Yeah, this StreamYard is something. I'll tell you. It just says now we're having trouble streaming, I think, just to Facebook, right?
Yeah.
We should be fine.
All right.
Let me talk about dosing.
Hold on. If you are on Facebook, sorry, it does look like it ended for some reason, but we are live on Instagram and YouTube, and this will always be on YouTube for the future. So
right?
yeah,
Sure.
Okay.
Well, let's talk about it because my background is in pharmacy, right? So dosing is kind of where I live. It's where I operate. You ever wonder how a man and a woman, so a woman that weighs 110 pounds versus a man that weighs 220 pounds can take the same dose of the same med, right? So it has a lot to do with therapeutic index. And like, whereas like thyroid has a very narrow therapeutic index. If you're dosing thyroid meds, right, it's dosed in micrograms, very, very tiny amounts, minuscule amounts, and it's very, your body's typically very sensitive. You got to be very careful, things like that. Whereas like certain blood pressure meds, antihypertensives, or cholesterol meds, whatever, 10 milligrams for men, 10 milligrams for woman, really not a big deal. Typically because the side effect profile is pretty minimal, or the upper limit of dosing is so high. There can be a range, right? It can be a range. When it comes to dietary supplements, we don't have quite the scientific rigor that the drug industry does. We still have regulations. We still have a lot of studies that have been performed, and we'll talk a little bit about that later as we talk about some of the patented ingredients. But if you take an ingredient like milk thistle, or NAC, N-acetylcysteine, which is found in our liver support, 2 amazing ingredients, right?
They are.
Studies, lots of studies, have ranged from 100 milligrams to 1,000 milligrams a day, right? A lot of them that say 500 milligrams, wherever that falls. You often try to find what's the best dosing for the widest segment of the population, and so that's where you'll kind of settle. And you do want to try to minimize side effects. Whereas magnesium, again, just falling back on this one, is the upper limit's going to be diarrhea usually, or loose stool. So you kind of have to be very careful. Do I recommend a little bit more than our 420? Yeah, a little bit, but you might not get there quickly. You might have to work there over time. So some of those things we want to educate really carefully, like dosing on the vitamin D3K2. We chose the 2,000 units. By the way, this is USDA certified organic D3K2. 2,000 units because that'll yield a nice healthy blood level, about 30 to 50 nanograms per ml, which is a blood test that you should have for your vitamin D levels. You can go higher. You might want your level like Lisa has it, where it's like 80 or 60 or whatever.
But I'm able to maintain I'm able to maintain that with our dosing.
Oh yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. But it's a fat soluble vitamin, so you have to be careful because it can build up in a tissue and it could cause harm, right? So you want to be on the low to middle side on vitamin D, because not low numbers. I'm saying dosing wise, 2,000 is like perfect. You don't want to be at 10,000 units because you can't take that back. Once you start dosing 10,000 every day, you can't get that back. Your kidneys could be harmed. There's things that can happen, and so that can be dangerous. The fat soluble stuff can be dangerous. So
do that under the advice of your doctor only.
Oh yeah,
not just buying a vitamin D supplement on the shelf.
That's for sure. I'm just suggesting the 2,000 is a very nice place to be because you can titrate up as you want.
Yes.
Right now, and then I was just using the NAC and the liver and the milk thistle.
Well, I wanted to go into this too, because you were just talking about the magnesium.
Right.
I had somebody ask me, and this is I forget the exact brand, but it was one that's sold in your drugstores, your Costco, all that kind of stuff, and prices are very decent. So like, this is what we talk about when transparency, like you can't just think one thing. So like someone was asking, well, this price is better than ours. I looked at it and their magnesium glycinate had 200 milligrams. It was just a magnesium glycinate product and it was just 200 milligrams. So if you're just taking 200 milligrams a day, I mean, you already heard Dr. Ryan, like sometimes you should even be taking more magnesium if your body can tolerate. I take 3 of these per night, right? It works for me. That's what gets my magnesium levels up. I have no GI upset. We're doing good. 200 milligrams is not enough to have a therapeutic benefit for the majority of the population, right? So another reason where I say dosing matters. Under this topic of dosing, the transparency of dosing is also proprietary blends. And you will hear us say this over and over and over again. It's not that a proprietary blend is negative. Negative, meaning like bad. Proprietary blends are just something unique to the company. Like we have our own personal blends too. What is important, and I have our super greens out here because we have a lot of ingredients, but most companies list proprietary blend. They will list all the ingredients. They'll say blend, or they might call it some other blend too, antioxidant blend, whatever they call it, it's their blend. And they're going to list all those ingredients. And then they list one amount. So maybe it's like 8,000 milligrams and you have like 50 ingredients. You have no idea what you're taking. You have no idea what the dose of any of those are. And what this allows companies to do is something that's in the supplement industry is called fairy dusting. And it allows you to picture it, a fairy dust of like, maybe I'm just holding super green. So maybe it's like broccoli or something, a fairy dust or like broccoli powder. When you actually know that broccoli is very beneficial for you and you want that and you want it to be a high dose, they're able to just sprinkle it in there and put it on the label. So you want to know everything you're taking. And our super greens has quite a bit of ingredients, but you will see on our label, each individual ingredient is listed with their amounts. Okay, that's huge. So make sure you look for that. Before you send me a product review, just check these things off, guys. bookmark this training. This will be used. This will not change, right? It's very important.
All right, one last thing too on dosing. So if you notice, a lot of what we use is standardized extracts or alkaloids. We'll standardize it to the active constituent of the plant, which again, when we talk about dosing, is a big deal. Let's use the ashwagandha for an example. That's in our USDA certified organic super greens. Ashwagandha, it's KSM 66. It's sourced to the native land of India. It's high quality, it's USDA organic, and it's standardized. It's standardized to the withanolide concentration, and it comes from the root. Now, if you took a whole plant of ashwagandha and just put the same amount of 100 milligrams in there, you're going to have a lot less of the active component, the active constituent that you want, that you're actually is the most desirable part of the plant. Another example is the fulvic acid and the shilajit. If you look at this and then you try to find another product out there and match it, it's 50% standardized, the fulvic acid. That's a huge deal. Maybe most people aren't even aware of that. They say, oh, shilajit's great. But you start looking around and evaluating the quality of each and everything, and you're going to have to pay attention to that because that's a big differentiator. And then, of course, this too, liver support. We just talked about the milk thistle. Well, look how it's standardized. It's the silymarin. You'll see different standardized amounts on here, and then you'll see the weight of that standardization, so you know exactly how much you're getting. The women's hormone, the men's vitality, all standardized, and it's not inexpensive to use these standardized extracts. Right. That is the cost. That is most of our cost goes. We can make a lot cheaper of a product for sure, and just use the whole plant, whatever leaves, whatever parts of the plant, or however we can source it. That's not how we do it, though, guys.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, that also just kind of leads into, well, I guess not, but I mean, kind of label accuracy.
Oh, there's another one.
Okay.
Yeah, the green tea extract. Look at the green tea extract. Standardize the EGCG. So it's 50%, I believe. 50%. But that's the point. So now you have weight-based dose. You have dosing based on 100 milligrams of green tea extract, standardized with 50% EGCG on our lean. This is the most potent weight loss formula on the market. It has so many awesome benefits, has GLP-1 activation, all these other things. But again, look at the quality of the materials used.
Right. Awesome. Good?
Yeah.
All right. And this one will be quick, but it's just label accuracy and hidden ingredients. So some brands don't fully disclose everything, right? So you might have allergen stimulants or artificial sweeteners can be hidden under big names, not so clear to you. Sure. So it kind of confuses the customer, and that's their goal, right? To make you not question it. So, you have to pay attention to that. And so with Livegood, what you see is what you get, and that goes back to our testing. When you look at the testing, it's going to show you everything that's in it, right? Because you're clearly testing the product. So just kind of touches on, can't just look at the label and dissect it as we're teaching you to. You also have to look for the testing. Big deal. So, with Livegood, we have no hidden fillers, dyes, no surprises.
That's the other ingredients section. So after you read a supplement facts panel and you look at each ingredient and you go down and say the super greens, look, you can see how lengthy this thing is. But if you get your readers on, you just kind of go down there line by line by line, and you'll see exactly the listed amounts of weight of each ingredient. And then when you get to the other ingredients section, which you'll typically find on the bottom, or in this case on the side, that's where you'll see what they call your excipients, your inactives. And that's where all the dangerous, not necessary stuff can hide.
Right.
Where in this example, we use organic rice hulls as our guidance, right? Magnesium has nothing. It's just pure magnesium. I mean, that's what you want to do.
Big deal.
And then the capsule that it's in, or the capsule, the vegetable capsules.
Right.
I mean, so you really have to focus on the active stuff, of course, but then pay attention to the inactive.
Yeah. Yep. And also what we leave out, right? So going along with just clean labels, it's just as important what we put in as what we leave out, knowing that you're not getting any of those fillers, binders, dyes, toxins, artificial ingredients. So it's just all the label accuracy, clean label, hidden ingredients, what we leave out, that all kind of goes together, right?
Yes.
Okay. Then another one is sourcing transparency. So the purity, the potency, the safety, it depends on that. And also knowing that non-GMO ingredients, we do USDA certified organic where we can, where and when we can. We will always do the extra and spend the extra to have USDA organic if a product can be, right? So those are big ones to also look for. Always you're getting the cleanest possible nutrition. With Livegood.
Yeah,
you really are.
Just because something is not USDA certified organic doesn't mean it's not good.
Right. Not all products, not all ingredients can
Can
be.
be.
So if
That's
there's a
right.
product that might have a handful of ingredients that can't, like you can't certify the product.
Yeah.
You can have those ingredients that can be organic, but you
That's right.
can't as a whole certify the product.
That's right.
Otherwise they would all be.
That's right.
Right. It was that. If it worked like that. Okay, another one, and I think many people do know this about Livegood, but if price transparency. So one big thing about Livegood is we bring you affordable products, but like you question, how is that possible? How is it possible that your Super Greens is, I believe it's 18 something, your Super Greens is 18 something, and I go and get this one and it's $99. Like, how can you actually do that? Well, it's simple, but many companies won't do it because they can't do it. They can't do it with the little overhead that we operate with. The very few staff. We as a team wear multiple hats. Everybody's hands are in it all the time. We don't have home offices. We have this teeny little studio that we'll come to for trainings, but it's just literally it's just a side room on our warehouse. Like, right, we don't have much to take care of besides our warehouse staff and our warehouses
And customer service.
and our customer service, of course. So with that, we just increase our prices just above margin, where many companies just above cost. Thank you. Where many companies significantly inflate their prices, not only to cover everything else, but to make a big chunk, and they put that shipping in there too, and then they say free shipping. Because shipping is never free. You have to pay a shipping company. You have to pay a carrier. So it's never free. It's put in there. So they're paying for the shipping, but they're also using that money for more than just your shipping. So we want to show you what shipping actually costs. And yes, it does. It depends on what you're ordering and the weight and the package size and where it's going. But this is all determined by our shipping companies. And we have not just factored in one lump sum.
All right, what else we got?
Marketing transparency. Okay, so many supplement brands spend more on marketing hype than on what's actually inside the bottle. And we see that with these big old marketing campaigns that are just so extraordinary, or just kind of like, and then they skimp on what's going on in the bottle. So you have to weed through that, because marketing is very effective. It really is.
Well,
I mean, look, I get sucked into marketing. I see something and I'm like, wow, this sounds so promising and so amazing, but you got to dig deep.
There's one brand right now that's paying out 50% of the per bottle sold to influencer marketing.
Wow.
And they're $100 a bottle.
Wow.
So I mean, you can think about that.
It's a big deal.
You know, when you see all these paid ads with these big fancy influencers, you know,
Right. I mean,
a lot of money being paid out.
it's basically like they're selling dreams, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there's no like, it's like promising that this one thing is going to change your life and it's going to be all you need. You're selling a dream. Like this is real. What we talk about is real. And yeah, that's
Absolutely.
part of our transparency.
What do we have next?
Well, I think that's it. Just
right.
and like why and just knowing that transparency protects the customer, guys. Transparency is
Us
protecting you.
too.
Yeah, so you have to make
Absolutely.
sure like it's a big deal. And as you guys know, like we make these products for us. Like we choose these because we want them, and then we bring them to you. So I don't want to take a handful of pills every day that are not going to benefit me or possibly harm me. So, that's a big deal. So make sure you're not wasting your time, you're not wasting your money, you're not sabotaging your health.
That's right.
Right? So, did you see any questions going through? I'm going to have great comments, which is awesome. Love the integrity and our values of us. Thank you so much. Yeah, some questions that are about health topics, guys, they'll always email me. Yeah, I mean, I know you guys love this information. So like I said, make sure you bookmark this, guys. Share this with all your friends, your family, because everybody needs to know this. Because again, everybody thinks that what they're taking is the best thing. You got to dissect it. You've got to dig deeper. So, at Livegood, we believe that you deserve supplements, right? That are clean, effective, affordable, backed by real transparency, real science. Every label, every test result, every price point reflects our commitment to you guys as customers. So, check out our website. Look at our ingredients and take everything that we taught you today and look at the labels. And if
Absolutely.
you have any further questions, please make sure you email me.
Sounds good.
I love this topic. All right, guys, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Take care, guys. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye now.